All right, guys, you voted for this video. Somebody sent this to me after the one of MeatCanyon's editors tried to deplatform him. Well, maybe that's a little too much energy. They spoke out against him in a way that, in my opinion, suggested they were trying to do a little bit of cancellation energy. You know, they came forward, exposed him for having like a, you know, being a bad person to work with. I'm just gonna link the videos. You can watch the full ones if you want yourself. But I thought it was a little preposterous. Basically, they said that he had like an abusive, I'll put it in under the sources below, an abusive work environment because he wouldn't buy MsBreezy a new computer when her computer was blue screening. A bunch of other stuff that was frankly ridiculous.
Rich Lux super chatted $99.99.
Whoa!
Love is papagat.
Wow, that's incredible stuff. I'll leave that in the video as a shout out. As a shout out. I really appreciate that. If you want, you could charge that back. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but I do appreciate it. But if you want to charge it back, I understand. I'll still keep it in there. I won't tell anybody, okay? That's a lot. Anyway, if you want a full recap, go look at my other video. Basically, I thought that she was overreacting. But anyway, this is a 2-year-old video somebody sent to me about MsBreezy. That's apparently a documentary about their rise and fall. I don't really know what kind of content they made. I think it was something to do with My Little Pony. That's probably wrong. But they deleted their their entire channel, which is a little interesting to me. It's surprising that they couldn't handle, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you can't handle the hate, then why are you making call-out videos like that in the first place? I don't know. Let's go.
Grows older year by year. As YouTube grows older year by year, it gains a plethora of new creators taking a crack at making their own content with hopes of becoming famous, making money, or doing it simply just for fun. But with the passage of this time...
Who does YouTube for fun? Come on. That's silly. YouTube is not fun. That's actually not too bad. It's a job that no one deserves, I'll tell you that.
Comes the inevitable decline of older channels as trends fade, fan bases move on, and people grow older.
But as we know, Papa Gut never dies. We stay on top. Never. We don't stay on top.
Sometimes, though, the passage of time affects these creators in an entirely different way. While most fade, others quit abruptly, continue on unhindered the way they began, or change. And there is no better example of a creator who embodies the concept of change better than MsBreezy.
Thank you again, Rich. I really appreciate that. But again, you can charge it back. All right, let's see what we got with
Looking at her channel today,
MsBreezy.
you'd see that she has just under 1 million subscribers and makes content centered on Gmod.
Looking back, you'd see that it's gone.
The format of which is usually just her and her friends running in mazes from memes added to the game as hostile sprites.
That sounds fun.
Why are we all in this scary-looking cornfield alone in the dark in the misty fog?
See, I was right. There was something to do with My Little Pony. I'm a smart guy.
Hello, Breezy. We have chickens provided by thank you.
But anyone who's been
To be honest with you, that's not my kind of content. I wouldn't choose to watch that. But hey, it's up to you. Teach their own, huh?
subscribed for quite some time would know that getting to that point today would be a long and difficult path.
Yeah.
MsBreezy created her channel over 9 years ago under the name Cool Dude 3, and
Wow, that's pretty cool, dude. 3?
it was 16 at the time. 4 days after this account's conception, its first content was uploaded on...
That's one thing I'm very lucky about, man. Like, I've been doing content for about 3 years, and I have to be one of the most fortunate content creators out there that, like, I've been able to sustain myself since I quit my real adult person's job. More than anybody could really ask for, frankly, even if I have to go back and get a real job at some point.
On August 10th, 2011. This video was a Minecraft machinima, with a machinima being a scripted skit filmed using gameplay.
Happy 40th birthday, Conrad!
Bro, he's turning 25.
Well, who cares? They're both the same.
No, guys, don't worry about it. This is awesome, thanks. I made my YouTube channel called Cool Dude, and my sole purpose for it was to upload Minecraft machinimas only. Because back then,
What? Listen, how come people give React channels so much grief when this was all over the app? Oh, React channel's low effort. What the hell was that, dude? You're just playing a game doing terrible Russian impersonations. And frankly, I think if it's racist for me to do an African accent, why isn't it racist for me to do a Russian accent? You know what I mean? Something to think about.
I didn't have any money. You know, I was only 15, I think. And, you know, we didn't have any money. I had lived in survival mode for 80% of my childhood. And then, so I decided, you know, I finally saved up like all summer for this nice laptop that could run Minecraft and recorded it at like decent frame rate. And since I didn't have any money to make my imagination, I love making videos. Like ever since I got my hands on a camcorder, you hear this from a lot of YouTubers. Ever since I got my hands.
Yeah, I do, but I don't. That's never been me. They take effort. I don't know what a machinima is. All I saw was My Little Ponies talking in a Russian accent. Okay, give me a fucking break. All right. That is one thing I was talking to my wife about this. It's like there's a lot of YouTubers that really, really want to be famous, and they've always wanted to be famous, and they're constantly chasing the fame. And like, I never really wanted to be famous. I'm not like famous, but like, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of like I got lucky. I just got so lucky. I decided to make TikTok because my wife when she was my girlfriend, wanted to send me memes and stuff. And then I'm an over opinionated asshole, so I was like, oh well, I want to give my opinion on. You know what I mean? And here we are.
Hands on a camcorder. That was it. You know, I made videos forever before YouTube even existed. Like that was my destiny. I remember I even used to upload to Google Video. How ironic that is.
As she posted more, these videos would perform decently at the time, and especially for a channel that had only.
What did they say? As she posted more?
How ironic that is.
As she posted more, these.
Serious question, and this is just like an actual question. I feel like I know the answer, but maybe I don't. When somebody, this is a trans person, right? They're a woman, 100%. Okay, we do not tolerate transphobia in the comments of this section, guys. Unironically, I'll just ban you. But when somebody is at the point in their life when they haven't started identifying as a woman, right? Do you refer to them as a woman at that point in their life? Right? That's I know it's a weird question, you know, but that wouldn't be transphobic, right? Because that's just like, oh yeah, I was still a guy back then, right? Like I feel like a lot of trans people are like that. It's like, oh yeah, that was before I transitioned or before I realized or whatever. Something to think about.
These videos would perform decently at the time, especially for a channel that had only just been created. But still, the Cool Dude 3 channel would mostly go overlooked for the first few weeks of its creation. This would soon change though, when Bree would encounter a man by the name of Zach Letter, who owned a small but up-and-coming channel known as Aviator Gaming. At the time, he had just over 9,000 subscribers and was the first established YouTube personality Bree would interact with on the site. The two made a Minecraft machinima together on Bree's channel along with Zach's friend Bert, who at the time didn't have his own gaming channel.
Hey, what's up you guys? This is Cool Dude.
Whoa.
Dude, where the hell are we?
I have no idea, but I think we're on the set of a
Cool Dude?
Yo.
Hold on a second.
What's this?
We are fading out, Bert.
What?
Look what you did.
I didn't do anything.
Bert, I feel thinner.
This would prove to be helpful for Bree's channel, especially.
Wait. What was this person's name again? Was it Cool Dude 3? Somebody confirm that for me.
Especially since Zach was partnered with Machinima, the leading MCN for gaming channels, which enabled them to become monetized since YouTube was hesitant to do so for gaming channels at the time. At this point, Bree herself wasn't partnered, but with the newfound attention from Zach, this
was there a time where they only monetized like certain channels? It's interesting.
Would change almost immediately given the events that would follow.
I'm looking up something because I know this is weird, but I feel like I randomly saw a skit in my For You page.
2 days after her collab with Zach and Bert, Bree would put up a video.
Never mind, I'm thinking of someone else. I saw this guy named Lewis Gamer Cool 23 in my For You page randomly, and everybody in the comments was like, "Oh my God, Lewis Gamer Cool 23." So I was like, "Oh, what's that?"
Called Like a Block, Like a Boss Parody Minecraft. Minecraft song parodies were in their prime at this point, and Bree's parody would prove to be a viral hit. This was prompted by Machinima themselves posting it to their website without Bree's permission. Although despite the ethics of this, it got Bree a spot as a paid partner, meaning she could now monetize her content, and was finally able to make a sizable amount of income. While she stated she didn't need it very much at the time, being 16 and having few expenses, the money was life-changing since her family was...
Oh, this is just a... What the fuck is this? This guy, why does this person only have 3 videos up with 700,000 subscribers? Did they like molest a kid or something? Like most Minecraft YouTubers, not Roblox, right? Why are they gone?
Okay, this is the 6th reason.
Yeah, I don't want to delve into that.
Relatively poor, and she hadn't been used to having disposable income.
YouTube became a job, and I didn't necessarily have to worry about paying my own rent. I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities. Just this extra money that was coming in helped my life substantially. I was able to invest in making better videos. I was able to invest in a nice camera.
Beautiful stuff. If only you invested in a new computer instead of trying to get MeatCanyon to buy you a brand new computer because yours was blue screening. Because like it's like if I hired an artist and I'm like, hey, can you paint me? Or like I hired a painter to paint a beautiful portrait of Papa Gut, and they're like, yeah. That'll be like $1,000, but also you have to buy me brand new, sticks or something. It's like, what do you talk about? You know what I mean? Like you work for yourself. YouTube's not going to buy me a laptop. You got to do it yourself.
Helped people out financially. I did a lot. I wasn't like, I'm going to keep this money and, keep it in a bank account and become a rich asshole.
Why? I want to be a rich asshole. Fuck it.
I just sort of...
Who the fuck doesn't want to be a rich asshole? Oh, I don't. Oh, rich ass. I want to be a rich asshole. Yeah.
Just, I was just investing it in everything. Just, here you go. Here's fucking money everywhere.
With the attention on Bree's channel growing, Bree would then post a new Minecraft Machinima series called Newbies, which would become one of her most popular and recognizable series to date. At the time of its conception, Bree's channel consisted solely of Minecraft Machinima content, but around a month later in February, she'd begun diversifying and posting other forms of content, specifically Let's Plays of games like Amnesia and SCP Containment Breach.
Yeah, I can't play scary games that make me too scared.
On top of these, Bree would also begin collaborating with other creators, specifically those who were friends with Zach at the time, including Bert, as previously mentioned, Zach's brother Tyson, and even Sky Does Minecraft, another friend of Zach's who would eventually become the biggest Minecraft channel on YouTube and the 18th most subscribed to person on the whole site. Although despite him being one of the most popular people Bree would associate with, Bree's friends as well as herself would see massive growth as time passed.
Cool. Sometimes I see massive growth. Just kidding, it's moderate to small growth.
By April of 2012, Bree would reach 40,000 subscribers, and 50k the very next month. Bree would also reveal her face for the first time in a now-deleted video, and continue to show it occasionally from then on. It was at this point as well that the Wayback Machine would archive Bree's channel the most, reaching its apex in July of 2012.
Like more than anybody else's channel? Sounds obsessive.
As Minecraft was becoming more popular. This means that Bree was seeing massive attention, although it was from this point forward that things would begin to change. She started several series that would become staples of...
I think we made a mistake in our lives when we gave gamers too much attention. You know, isn't that weird? Gamers? Ugh.
The channel, one of which being called Splatter Day, which would consist of her opening fan mail. She also began doing machinimas using other games besides Minecraft, and continued producing a variety of Let's Plays as well. And as 2012 neared its end, she would start doing more and more collabs with new friends, particularly Zach's friend Steve, who at the time ran a channel called MLG Haunt, and had joined up with Zach, Bert, and Tyson to form a live-action skit channel together called Bam Lounge. Through his affiliations with Zach, Steve and his other friends...
How come everybody does like skit channels? I feel like you know what I noticed? I think that what the internet did the most, more than anything else, was it gave a lot of theater nerds the ability to make a lot of content, right? Oh, everybody has a skit channel. Everybody does this. Everybody does that. And theater nerds are very irresponsible. They're very irresponsible. They just don't have proper boundaries with anybody. I'm not a gamer, dude. I'm just playing a game. There's a difference. Shut up. I'm not good at video games. Shut up.
Friends would be introduced to Bree, and this particular group would make more and
They're also annoying.
more collaborative projects with Bree than anyone thus far, which added more Let's Play content to Bree's channel than the year prior. She would also appear in Steve's channel, in videos like Haunt Interviews a Brony and To Kill a YouTuber Cool Dude 3.
Cool Dude 3.
There's a sickness among us.
Oh my god, Among Us.
Dark force betraying the American way. Not communists, not fascists.
Gayness.
A cult. Those that walk beneath the earth.
Just kidding,
the
by the
ones
way.
who've descended further than rock bottom, where the only source of comfort is the warmth of others who have strayed so far from the light.
Bronies.
Today, we're here to bring you an exclusive interview with a man who describes himself as a member of the Brony fandom. Please allow me to introduce Garrick Bergen.
Shut up. I haven't played WoW in like a month.
Otherwise known as Cool Dude on his social media platforms.
Hi, my name's Garrick. I've been a brownie for about 5.
Garrick, we really do want to help you. As a member of the Gay Pride Horse Cult, how are people going to recognize you as a human being, as opposed to a member of the Filth and Squalor Club you currently represent?
The year would
It's a fair question. Answer.
prove to be quite fruitful due to projects like this, and at this
That's a funny joke because they're gay. Fruitful.
point, she had also created a second channel called Cool Butt, later renamed the Cool Boobs, where other more random content would be posted.
Hello, and what is up, my beautiful and sexy viewers? I hope you enjoyed that little, advertisement video, I guess you could say, for my new channel. It's my second channel where I upload them, like, super low-budget fucking shit that you guys can sit there and, enjoy.
See, I always support this move to always, in my opinion, for people who have higher effort content especially, release a low effort channel where you don't have to do a whole lot and you can still make money. I think it's a great idea. It could take some of the pressures off of you, you know?
So basically, this is just an announcement. If you feel like it, subscribe. If you don't, I don't blame you, because all that's really going up here is utter shit of me living my life.
But as mid-2013 neared, Minecraft reached its peak. Many were not aware at the time, but it would soon prove to be unreliable for most who clung to it for long. Potentially because of this, Bree continued posting Minecraft machinimas, but accompanied with an ever-growing amount of diversified content, specifically with Let's Play videos of other games. And also by this point, many were quick to notice a lot of subtle references contained within Bree's videos.
Mind if I have a seat here? You all right, buddy? You act like you haven't seen yourself before. No, but I mean, like, how...
What is it, boobs? Like butts?
How are you? I'm you from the future.
On July 7th, 2013, Bree posted
Them from the future?
a Let's Play of a My Little Pony game called Legends of Equestria.
What?
One of its features was a customizable character option, and through this, Bree adapted
What do you? It's a horse. How do you customize a fucking horse?
Adapted her pony OC that she had also used in the video's thumbnail.
Oh, this person's like an actual brony. I thought that was a joke. Okay, I can see why they got canceled now. All right, I think it's fair. I'm good. I'm happy you deleted your channel. Just kidding.
It's not that I'm self-conscious that I'm playing this game. And if
I
you're
am.
asking why I'm a girl pony, it's because I didn't want people to think that I was actually a guy in real life playing this game. Okay, maybe my OC is a girl. Actually, I think the correct term would be mare.
That's weird, bro. Well, this person's trans, so it actually isn't weird. It makes perfect sense. But I always thought it was weird that when people would play girl characters in like World of Warcraft and stuff, it's like, you're a dude. Why are you trying? And they're like, oh, well, I just want to look at girls. I understand looking at girls, but this isn't time for that. This is time to fucking play the game. When you're sitting here doing like a fucking plus 15 mythic, oh, I want to look at my girl character. What? You shouldn't be. You should not be doing that. That's not the priority of the day. Priority of the day is winning. Pussy. You know what I mean?
This would be the first of many to feature the character, and the
Bro, I should fucking ban you so hard right now, you son of a bitch. Telling me that I'm fucking muted. I'm going on a tangent.
start of a
I'll
change
fucking
that we
do
were
it.
to go in more ways than one.
I never outright disclosed, however, my deeper connection beneath the umbrella. That
Holy fuck, their voice changed almost instantly. Jesus Christ.
being this growing attachment between
That's like an incredible fucking HRT. Shit.
me and this OC I'd slowly been creating. The early origins of my character featured crudely recolored pieces from other people's art, and the occasional gift or commission from artist friends that knew about my secret interests behind the scenes. I eventually began writing about this character, who up until this point was nameless, and after a long few weeks of pondering names, I'd settled on calling her Breezy.
Although, with these changes came other, less fortunate ones.
That's why they... So wait a minute. This person was a My Little Phony fan, and they used to be Cool Gamer 3 or whatever, and then they decided to change that. They had an OC My Little Pony character that her and her friends came up with the name MsBreezy, and then you decided to name your what the fuck? You decided to make yourself. You decided to name yourself after that. That's it's bizarre to me. Am I the only one? That's like I understand. Mike and My Little Pony, I guess, for the writing, of course, and the Rule 34, horsecock porn. But it's a little interesting to make your. Although my name is Papa God, so who the fuck am I, right? I don't know.
Mainly that by this point, her relationship with Machinima was strained. She stated that around a year into her partner contract, she was given a more legally binding 3-year agreement, which she signed without a second thought, given how good things had been up to that point. However, the following month, Bree had her pay cut by nearly 50%, something which Machinima took no credit for. But the
Why was it? Did they actually cut her pay, or was she just making less money, so she got less pay?
explanations they gave appeared to not add up. Despite growing more and more popular, Bree's channel only continued to decline in monthly revenue from this point onward, which reached its apex in late 2013.
So I went ahead and signed the contract, thinking that nothing would really change. But the paycheck I got right after I signed this 3-year amendment was almost 50% less than what I had previously been making. And so
Was like the ad revenue just down there or something?
as the year progresses, 2013, my paycheck just keeps dropping. And it just keeps going lower and lower and lower with no explanation. My views, my statistics had been sort of dropping because I hadn't been uploading as frequently. And throughout all
Okay, so what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, it could be multiple things, but it sounds like they started to make less content. So like, yeah, or they started to upload less, or your statistics were down. Like, yeah, you would expect to make less money when that happens, right? And like,
of 2013, a lot of YouTubers that I know, and a lot of YouTubers just in general, their statistics have been dropping, which, I'm not really sure the cause of that. That, I think, is YouTube. But if you go and look at anybody's statistics...
well, as YouTube becomes more popular, there's a higher diversity of content, and people just go into different directions.
They've just been significantly less of what they used to be. And that could be a big factor as to why the paycheck had been dropping over the year.
Yeah, that's why you just got to be ready. You got to be prepared for the tough months as a creator, It's just part of the game. Not just view months or watch time view months, but also you got to be aware of the rough, like monetized months. Like with January, my understanding is like a historically underpaying time. They just don't pay a lot because the Christmas burnout, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. So advertisers aren't as like people just spent a lot of money. Advertisers know that people aren't really looking to buy a bunch of stuff, so they pay a little less, and then sometimes you just get fewer views.
But the fact that it had been dropping, like it had dropped substantially, like that much within a month, I don't know. I didn't know what to think of it.
But on top of this, Machinima had apparently taken down her Like a Block Minecraft parody without her knowledge to prevent copyright takedowns, which was an ever-growing concern around this time when artists began to take note of how popular these parodies were becoming. Creators like Captain Sparkles faced these issues as well, which forced him to redub his original parody videos for some time. In Bree's case, however, she attempted to repost the video, but Machinima privatized it again, keeping her most popular video offline even to this day.
Damn. That sucks.
This is just kind of a, I don't know if this is true or not, but you know, honestly, if you're not part of a network anymore and that video is still privatized, a big boost of 6 million views, I think it's what it had, could actually prioritize you in the algorithm again. So maybe re-putting up the like a block parody might actually have a, huh?
That's kind of smart, though. I don't know if YouTube will register it as that. I think maybe
Oh no, it does. Like if a video is privatized for a certain amount of time, then gets unprivate, it actually counts as views gained.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is that real? I mean, it really doesn't matter because I don't private my videos, but...
She would then post a video discussing some of her grievances with the company, but this too would cause problems. As 2013 neared its end, controversies surrounding Machinima were becoming ever more plentiful, and the network grew a stigma for mistreating its creators. And Bree's video voiced a lot of the same issues. Being partnered still, Machinima caught wind of this fairly quickly. Their representatives saw the video and were not pleased, leading to it being privatized as well. This
Well, my thing is like, it sounds like the treatment might be unfair, but why are you continuously re-uploading this video? I guess the desperation? I guess that kind of makes sense, but it seems like the wrong play to make, no?
Combined with growing awareness of other problems resulted in Bree leaving Machinima in early 2014, which she was able to do since she'd signed the contract while under the age of 18 and put up enough resistance that the company gave in.
So, you know, we signed the contract and my parents had to sign it at the time because I wasn't old enough.
She then joined Maker Studios almost immediately after. But trouble seemed to carry on in other ways. In April, Bree posted a video simply called Friends and alluded to the fact that she had issues with past relationships.
Today's topic I wanted to talk about, friends.
So not, in my opinion, it's not a great idea to talk about. You know, there's some things you want to keep private. I know I make jokes a lot, some raunchy jokes, but you're probably better off keeping some things. Not everything needs to be expressed. You know what I mean? So
because recently I had been I've been sort of
maintain that boundary,
stuck in the memories and the feelings of old friends, and usually my mindset towards things is just it's the past, move on. I mean, you can try to mend things. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. As many of you probably have experienced yourselves, we go through a lot of hardships. We lose a lot of friends. We gain a lot of friends, and we, over time, learn who our good friends are and who our bad friends are. But then there are those times where you fuck up something nice, where you had a good thing going and you made mistakes. And sometimes you can't take those back. And sometimes it's best to move on. Sometimes it's best to mend those things. And that's sort of one of the main things I've been caught up is which friendships were worth letting go, which friendships were worth keeping.
It wasn't clear who she'd been referring to in these videos, but many of her fellow YouTube friends from the early days had since stopped appearing in videos on the channel. And
yeah, I mean, here's one of those things. Even if people may not know who you're talking about, you might not want to divulge that information. I mean, if you're ready to do it, you do your thing. But it's the same thing as like, let's say you're content creators and it's like, let's say you have a channel. It's a husband and wife channel. And you guys have kids, and so you start talking about some of the stories that your kids went through, but you're kind of vague about it. Most people aren't going to like necessarily know, but the people in real life are going to know about the stories you're telling if they watch your content, and that could lead to some kind of an issue there. You know what I mean? So it might be best to keep some of those things private.
Some had left YouTube entirely and deleted their own channels. Still, she began to settle in with a few specific people who would appear in videos far more consistently, and these people would become a friend group of her own. The group consisted of people like Jeff Fillman, a friend from Steve's Minecraft group, and others who ran smaller channels like Asmos and Damien. Among them was also Robin, a man who Bree had met a year prior on YouTube's now-removed messaging feature. She'd apparently recognized his voice from a Minecraft Machinima by the channel Crafted Movie, and spammed him saying, "I love you," which he responded to, and recognized her as well. Although, Bree was apparently mistaken at the time, and Robin in fact wasn't the voice actor in the video she'd seen.
I had just done a lot of voice acting for the channel Crafted Movie.
Should I do voice acting, guys? Was that a good idea? People say I have a nice voice. Should I do voice acting?
For their, I believe it was ban appeal court videos. And for whatever reason, Bree had actually watched both of them, and after the second one, kind of realized that I sounded a lot like someone she had heard before.
Why does this fucking deer die?
I think it was the narrator that did a really messed up Adventure Time fanfiction. It might be that guy called Duke or something like that. I can't quite remember his name. But I sounded a lot like him with some of the voices that I did, so she thought I was the one that did that fanfiction.
You guys know how that there's when you have like a child in a TV show, like a cartoon show, you'll either use a girl's voice, an older girl's voice, because it sounds like a young boy, or you use a young boy. And the problem with the young boy is that as they get older, their voice deepens, so it's like kind of hard to keep that character, that voice for that character. That's why Gumball went through like 3 voices. What if, okay, the kid was trans girl means it's a boy. No, trans girl, which means it's a girl, but they were, assigned male at birth, inclusive language. And then they went on testosterone blockers as they transitioned, so their voice didn't deepen. Hollywood, get on that. Get on that one, Hollywood. Get on that one, Hollywood. Start hiring more trans women. Young trans women, I guess. I don't know.
Turns out it wasn't me.
The joke
of
lost
course,
itself.
But she didn't know that, so she ended up sending me a message on YouTube that just said, I love you, 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 over and over and over again. Signed, cool dude. And then after that, I
Signed,
sent a message
cool
back.
guy.
This is back when YouTube had, like, messaging that people used all the time. I mean, it's still there, but no one
YouTube had
uses it.
messaging?
We had a little bit of correspondence back and forth. I said, hey, would you mind if I had you on Skype, blah, 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 and we started talking.
Still, by sheer coincidence,
Skype.
this kickstarted a friendship that
Crazy.
ultimately culminated in the two moving in together following PAX 2014, after they'd done enough videos to learn how compatible they were.
So let me wind the clock all the way back to PAX Prime 2014.
What game
now,
is
around
this?
this time, I had come up with the idea of, hey, what if I moved down to Colorado to live with you? Because, hey, we already love doing videos with each other. We do it all the time. We work great together. What if? And just before PAX Prime, I got the green light. They're like, yeah, move right on down. Let's do this shit. Let's give it a go.
Okay. Moving forward.
On her channel, content began to shift away from scripted videos in favor of more Let's Play material at this point, and the titles would begin to shorten and
Didn't things trend that way, right? Towards Let's Play?
become more memey in nature. On top of this, Minecraft as a whole had been phased out almost completely, and the last episode of Newbies premiered on August 24th, 2014, officially ending the Minecraft era of the Cool Dude 3 channel. A decision that was most likely for the best, since by this point her last Minecraft videos were seeing low viewership compared to the newer Let's Play videos. And had she stuck with it as long as many of her peers did, her channel may have met a premature end. But the biggest shift would come on October 3rd, 2014, when Bree would upload a Let's Play video of her and her friends playing a game called Gary's Mod, or Gmod. This video would become the basis for content going forward, and the MLP-inspired character was made into her Gmod avatar, and began to become a part of the channel's brand. And this, quite simply, worked.
Much of my escapism around this.
Why? Why does it work? Listen. Let me tell you a story. When I was younger, I watched a documentary on My Little Pony. And one of the things that they found out was that there are a lot of My Little Pony fans that are very acoustic. Okay. And I thought that was very interesting. But as I was listening to this documentary, I realized two things. Thing number one is that I seem a little similar to these guys. So I decided to take an autism test, and the internet told me I have it. Thing number two, My Little Pony might be kind of cool or interesting to get into. And then I came across a video of some weird guy talking about My Little Pony in a very inappropriate way at a My Little Pony convention. And that's why I've never done it. Simply put. I don't know if I could find the video. Oh, is this it? Is this the video?
So anyway, we all know about the great bronies here, right? Yeah. All right, but all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what keeps happening up here. Somebody says closer, and the person goes.
They mean closer to the mic, okay?
All right. So anyway,
There we go.
we know about everyone here and how great the show is, right? However, as most of us are aware, there's a darker side to the fandom which we know pretty well. To Mrs. Oliver and Miss Libman.
Great.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you're aware of Princess Celestia being portrayed as a tyrant, an internet troll, and God forbid, a molester. And Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy on occasion.
No.
I'm canceling this question.
So I'm gonna let you know.
That's when I decided. That's when I decided I'll never watch My Little Pony. That's when I decided. That one mom from My Little Pony is kind of hot, though. MLP mom. Yeah, this one, whatever this guy's name is. Creamheart? That's a name.
This time to take place on Gary's Mod Dark RP servers. You know, those old pony ones. That's where I spent like 90% of my life during the latter half of 2014. This isn't a sad thing, though. Because despite the grim state of my life, the happiness these servers gave me would eventually be enough to motivate me to create again. And what better place to start than on the servers themselves?
That's a beautiful
With
thing.
Minecraft's dwindling relevancy no longer being an issue, and Bree having settled into a group of close friends for consistent collabs, she was able to release more and more videos in this style and see a lot of success. Going into the latter half of the year, Bree would focus her efforts exclusively on this type of content. Series like Splatterday and her Legends of Equestria Let's Play would come to a full halt at this point as the content narrowed to Gmod videos. Most of these focused on her and her friends running from memes made into enemies who chased them through maps. But others were
What do you mean stop, dude?
story-driven and took on a machinima style like her old Minecraft videos from the start of the channel. This is also when she abandoned her secondary account. She did attempt to diversify a bit by creating an account on Twitch, which was new at the time. It was named Cool Dude 3 like her main channel, and she would stream often. Although, Bree abandoned it not too long after because she considered it to be a very gatekeeping platform that tended to be elitist to new users. As a result, content stayed fairly consistent on YouTube from this point onwards. Gmod videos would continue to premiere, and Bree made more and more friends who became regulars in the group. These include Mike, who owned the channel Pymations, and Kyle, who Bree had met while starting to make Gmod Sandbox and Dark RP videos after he'd been active on her streams and the two played CSGO together. As 2015 began, the Cool Dude 3 channel would begin to see its biggest growth spurt yet. Mike even helped create several animated videos using audio from Bree's content, and these would go viral and become some of her most popular videos. Although while the channel grew more popular, other bigger problems had begun.
So far, I'm assuming, is there like anything actually controversial, or is it mostly just like, hey, here's somebody that was that started on YouTube in the beginning of YouTube, and then things changed and they had to adjust, and yeah, okay. They're telling them they want me to stop. They only tell me that they want me to stop because they're afraid of my power. Facts are power, and when I tell you that Creamheart from when I tell you that Creamheart from My Little Pony is hot, they fear me because they know it is true. And they're afraid of what I can do with having the power of every horny brony at my side. That's what they're afraid of. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They're afraid of my power. Okay?
Apparently, while on vacation, Bree's family's house flooded due to it being positioned in a place where water naturally collects, and the house's water pump...
Who would have thought they would have flooded? Oh, this is where water always goes. Oh shit, what should we do? Nothing.
In the basement having failed while they were gone.
That
they
sucks,
called their
though.
insurance provider, who instructed them to keep the area as is for an inspector to come, but after waiting for him for a week, the damage had worsened severely.
Then about a week later, we're calling them and talking to them, and they're like, oh, you didn't do anything with the basement? You were supposed to start cleaning stuff up for us. We can't send someone in if it's a hazardous environment. And we're like, no, you told us to leave it be. And they're like, no, we would never do that. You were supposed to start it on your own, and then we were going to come in and help. But now we can't do anything because you didn't start on it. And mind you, this is a week later. The flooding has gotten significantly worse. It's not a $7,000 repair at this point. It's like a $25,000 repair.
By the time the insurance issue had been resolved, the damage to the house outweighed its value.
Oh my god, that's fucking terrible.
This forced the family to move out and to have it foreclosed on.
This is a solution that Allstate could have fixed for very cheap right when we called them. But after about 3 weeks of fighting, the cost of the repair would have been around $75,000. Basically, it was starting to ruin the
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I would have started cleaning that up pretty quickly.
foundation of our house. So what does this mean? It means that we had to fucking abandon it. I took what little I could and ran off to an apartment in the city, and my parents had to move an hour away from everything they do so that they could go and live in my grandpa's house.
Not only...
I wonder if their insurance person actually said, just don't do anything, we're going to come by. Because I feel like that's like hard to believe. I mean, I could just be wrong, but that's like so hard to believe that they would say something like that.
Did this uproot their lives, but with finances as they were, Bree's younger sister became ineligible for a lot of the college arrangements that were going to have been put in place soon after. The family could no longer afford what they'd originally planned. In response, Bree made a video discussing these events and created a GoFundMe to raise the money they needed. And even though it didn't meet its goal, they raised just enough and her sister went to college as planned. But this didn't change the fact that they were forced to move and downsize. But despite these problems, Bree's YouTube channel was continuing to see a massive uptick. And
well, that's good. At least it's good that they've had like a big surge of money come in when they had this really frustrating problem.
in August, she reached 400,000 total subscribers.
So we got Taylor here. We're blowing up some balloons for Taylor's happy 400,000 subscribers day.
Woo! Same for me, guys. Happy 400,000.
Oh, Garrett.
Happy 400K, Taylor.
Yeah, happy 400K.
You finally made it.
I hope I can get the 100K. Get another silver plaque. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of pretty cool. Except this time it would be cooler.
What?
Happy 400K!
Oh my god, that's loud as hell. What the frick? Alright. We're muting this until this goes on. Alright.
My god.
We put 400 balloons in your room.
Can't the static like ruin your computer? Am I wrong with that?
One for every 1,000 subscribers.
One like equals 400 balloons. I wonder where Breezy could be.
Hey, there she is. I'm actually really afraid to see what happens when I hit 1 million. What happened? We weren't happy.
Damn, unfortunately, we'll never be able to find out. Sad stuff, guys. Sad stuff.
But as this was happening, another big yet not unexpected change was taking place.
Okay.
On August 1st, 2015, Bree posted a video stating that she'd lost a lot of enthusiasm for creating content as a result of issues that had started to emerge in real life.
And a lot of this stems from real-life problems that I've been struggling with. Well, actually, the entirety of it stems from real-life problems that I've been struggling with for a long...
I'm a little confused because I feel like we keep going back and forth between this individual, like MsBreezy, having like a more feminine voice and a more masculine voice, and it's kind of throwing me off time-wise. It's confusing me a little bit.
Long time, but just recently they're actually starting to take their toll. Last couple of months, and I've had to deal with the issues and pursue the person I need to be so that I can get back to being me. Now all this is a big complicated thing that I don't necessarily want to disclose in a Gmod bhop video. Maybe someday in the future, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't relate to my YouTube career. It doesn't relate to the content that I create and the content you guys want to see.
On this same day,
I wonder if that's when they started their transition and that just put a lot of stress on themselves and their life. I imagine that could be an adjustment. Right?
Bree also uploaded a now unlisted video saying she created a new second channel specifically for LGBT-related content. This channel was later called Bree.
I mean, that makes sense. Since that.
I'm just making a second channel of sorts, but I don't want to classify it as a second channel because it's going to mean more than that. Because it's not going to be this place where I upload videos that were too dumb to put on my main channel. It's going to be like a legitimate channel.
Oh, gee, cool, dude.
Can you stop that? Literally nobody can understand what the fuck you're saying. Well, that's a good question if you didn't ask it like a dumbass. This other channel is going to have a very defined purpose. It's going to cater to a very specific group of people. And by that, I mean, it's going to be a very LGBT-oriented channel. Oh, fucking cool, dude's gay. Fucking that's not cool, man.
I feel like all gaming channels are LGBTQ-oriented because games are kind of gay, right?
I'm not gay. I'm just dating a guy and
sitting down playing with yourself, especially guys playing as guy characters. You're playing with yourself to a guy. Come on.
Okay, seriously though, the reason why I'm making this video is so that I can reach out to the people who would be interested in this subject rather than trying to round up my fan base as a whole.
In this
guys, this is my gay channel.
video, she revealed that she was dating Robin since early 2015. Something that many fans knew, but was still
When you hear the female voice right now in the video, it's her explaining. Okay, her past. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Gotcha.
Confirmed publicly.
I didn't understand that, but that makes sense.
Robin would eventually go into detail about this and say that while Bree had feelings for him towards the beginning of their friendship, she ultimately gave up and thought it would never happen. But later wrote a fanfiction story featuring their Gmod pony OCs where Robin tried to find a present for Bree.
It was one particular evening where we were sitting on a Skype call together. I don't think we were doing anything in particular. We were just sitting there in silence like, you know, you do. And Bree said, you know what? I'm going to write something. I'm just going to write a story, and it's going to hurt. This one's going to hurt. Now, she wrote this story using the ponies that we use in our Gmod videos, the Breezy and the Bing pony OCs, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Because around this time, I think people...
This is so weird. Imagine going into the real world and you're like, oh, what do you do for a living? Well, you know, I've created a pony, a pony OC of myself named MsBreezy, and what I do is I role play with my friends, and we pretend that they are real. Oh. Then again, I mean, imagine somebody asked, like, well, hey, Papa, what do you do? What do you do? Dan, they'd say, right? Because I actually, when they say, I just like, oh, I talk about stuff on YouTube. I just am very indirect. I don't really talk about myself because it's like, what do I do? Like, I fucking talk about drama. I'm a fucking, like, let's be honest here. At this point, I'm kind of like a drama channel a little bit. I like to think that I hold myself to a reasonable standard. But I mean, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Sit here and fucking jacking off. You know? Wait, I should have skipped.
People had started to ship the two characters together in the first place because it was funny and cute. So Bree decided to write a little story about that.
Did you guys...
she sits there for about 40, 45 minutes. Then all of a sudden...
Did you guys start kissing?
And she sends me this little story that she wrote. And
Oh my God,
of course, it was a little romance story about the character Bing going out and trying to find the perfect present for Breezy for Christmas and shit like that. It was
a rose toy. Fellas, that's what your girl wants. A rose toy.
Around that time that those feelings kind of started to creep in. Because I started to think to myself after that story, after that weird little joke romance story, you know, what if?
Ultimately, this story would cause him to form a crush that he would confess to Bree later on, and the two started dating.
Oh, well, at least it was mutual. Hey, listen, that's an interesting dating ritual. What if our OCs kissed? Oh my God, I think I might like this in real life. What if we kissed? Oh, I never factored in the smell. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard to.
But then, quite suddenly, yet not unsurprising to many, Bree would let on her videos that she had realized she was transgender, and made the decision to undergo hormone replacement therapy and transition from male to female. Something which made a lot of the small quirks and references on the channel make sense in retrospect.
Whenever I film IRL vlogs, I contemplate using makeup, but then I realize I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay. It's so interesting because I have the exact opposite thought. You know, my wife is like, "Can I put makeup on you?" And I just say no. No, in an angry tone, of course, because I'm a man. You know, I've realized that there are several things from my past that some would consider toxically masculine, and upon retrospect, I go, I don't like the person I was. One of those things is when I was like 20 years old, maybe even like 19, like something like 15 years ago, I had a girlfriend and she gave me flowers for Valentine's Day, which is a cute gesture. I think it's a cute gesture. But at the time, I thought, I got angry. I just got angry. I just got so fucking angry. I got so angry. I was like, she got me flowers. I would rather get nothing. And actually, I don't particularly care for getting gifts, but I just got so fucking mad. And I feel bad. I feel bad for that moment. I'm so sorry. But then my wife asked me now, it's like, oh, what if I got you flowers? I said, no, don't do that. I still don't like them. I'm just not as angry about it. But I wouldn't value them at all. You know what I mean? No, I'm not really into flowers in the first place. I think it was just supposed to be like a nice gesture, but, you know.
There was no official coming out video or post anywhere, but her friends had started referring to her as female around this point, and she was taking steps towards appearing more femininely. Her second channel announcement video had even contained a link to a GoFundMe page, raising money to have her Adam's apple removed so her voice would be able to reach a higher range.
Cool.
During this period, I would
Can I have it?
finally drum up the confidence to confront my internal gender identity conflict behind the scenes. I finally had the money to pursue the changes I needed, and for once, things didn't seem so fucking
Okay, you know what?
hopeless. I still struggled greatly with depression, but I wasn't stuck. And no matter how depressed I got, I was still taking steps forward.
Still, it went mostly unmentioned in videos aside from subtle jokes going forward. But its effect on Bree's life wasn't as subtle. Apparently, she'd been deeply ashamed of it for quite some time and afraid of what people might think.
Yeah, it's probably a tough thing to struggle with. Thankfully, I don't have an issue like that. I'm a very fortunate guy.
As a result, she stopped talking to a lot of her friends out of fear, and was cut out by others who were less accepting. Unfortunately, the YouTube populace in her community had a largely split reaction to it, with some reception being positive, but a sizable portion being negative as well. She barely spoke of any of this at the time, but later on, she revealed that the struggle had been something she'd been facing for years, and alluded to in nearly every scripted video since day one. Yeah. Literally day one.
And then after the sex change...
How did this person's partner take the news that they transitioned? Because didn't they start dating when they were still identifying as a boy? So was that weird for the partner? Or were they like, all right, bonus, I fell in love with my friend, but I'm not gay, and now they're a woman, and that's pretty cool, you know?
We just looked at him and laughed.
Oh, I can remember my first sex change.
All right.
Ugh, I give up.
I made a lot of hints about it in old videos. I used to make I literally made an entire video foreshadowing what I knew was going to happen.
All right, buddy, you act like you haven't seen yourself before. No, but I mean, like, how are you? I'm you from the future.
It's kind of a genius video, to be honest.
But even with these changes and the uncertainty that came with them, the channel was reaching its peak of popularity as 2016 began. Most videos did very well in the algorithm, and by this point, Bree had amassed a dedicated audience that would double in size to reach over 800,000. With profits on YouTube at an all-time high, Bree began
H3 Snark sub, absolutely hating you today. Said you were bullying Jake Dulo. I'm sorry, Jake.
and making long-term commitments she'd
But that's life, man. That's life.
wanted for some time. She changed the channel's icon to a human variation of her female horse character that had become her most recognizable form, and continued
How do I find the subreddit? I probably won't look at it, but I'm curious.
making steps forward in her transition as time passed. But this was never overtly discussed in videos. The closest she came to doing so was in a video called My Transition.
So there's been a lot of controversy regarding my transition into a bee, and I feel like it wasn't
bee? Like, oh, bumblebee.
Rightfully explained. I just sort of threw this on you guys. So I kind of wanted to give my viewers a chance to ask whatever questions they wanted to about my bee transition. And I want you guys to know what the buzz is about.
Oh, got him! That's, just so you know, you think, oh, haha, funny bee reference. She's referring to a rosebud toy, which you should get for your girlfriend.
Which alluded to bits about her life, but was
Or maybe guys like it too. I don't really know. I personally don't like using toys.
structured as a joke. In real life, however, she would undergo several surgeries in her transition. In the case of her Adam's apple removal, the GoFundMe ultimately didn't meet its goal, but provided enough to make a dent that her YouTube earnings cover the rest of. In the time leading up to the surgery, Bree made several references on Twitter, asking fans how open they would be to this change. and admits she had no idea how it would affect her voice in the end, but was her best chance of reaching a feminine vocal range. But in the midst of this, YouTube is undergoing a massive change as well.
You'll be back soon. You're going to work on fan art of me? Okay, thank you. Incredible stuff. The final fall. So far, this doesn't seem like nothing. Like this person just transitioned.
The YouTube demonetization
nothing as far as they're doing anything wrong.
System was implemented around this time, and it would affect Bree's channel drastically. So much so that on May 6, 2017, she would create a video announcing that she now owned a Patreon account that subscribers could support her on.
Today I come to you with a pressing matter. Due to YouTube's recent decisions regarding advertisements, and also more advertisements, many calling it the adpocalypse, my channel has suffered greatly from this terrible times.
Yeah, I hear about that. That's a scary time, I imagine. A lot of people lost a lot of money. My thing is it's so interesting because a lot of people will obviously understandably acknowledge the apocalypse happened and everything. And my understanding was it all started with a Burger King commercial being on a video that said Alabama, racism video. And so when YouTube, does some shifts in the algorithm or shifts in the monetization rather, I get it, right? I kind of get it. I get it. That's why I don't get so frustrated with YouTube, because overall they're just trying to keep the platform alive so that I have a job forever. Just me though. They don't care about anybody else except
Great Depression, but for privileged.
I have issues with YouTube, but
yuppies, which is why today I'm announcing a
better than my old boss.
Patreon.
But this proved to not be enough. Because of the swearing in her backlog of content, Bree would experience heavy demonetization. By her own account, videos would still continue to get good views, but the revenue made from them was cut to almost nothing. Her channel continued to thrive on the surface with an ever-active fan base, but changes to the site took their toll. The following month, Bree would get an additional job working at a snowboard shop to keep afloat. And it was also at this time that Bree underwent her vocal surgery, and had stockpiled 14 videos to release until she'd recovered enough to record new ones. From June 25th
That's very smart.
to August 21st, 2017, Bree would put up the pre-recorded content before returning with her new voice on August 23rd.
Alright, everybody gather around. I just wanted to offer a small little disclaimer. I recently, well not recently, 2 months ago, I went through a vocal surgery. So every video you've been watching up to this point has been a stockpiled video. So here's the sitch. Here's the dealio. My voice is gonna sound like absolute fucking garbage for the next couple of months while it heals up. Just wanna throw that out there.
This same day, she would officially change the channel's name from Cool Dude 3 to MsBreezy, symbolizing the end of an era and the start of another. She would even go back and retroactively add Cool Dude 3 Archive into the titles of older videos, but would give up
Damn, that sounds like a lot of work.
on trying to alter all of them. Unfortunately, these changes may have had an unforeseen downside. Having the channel's name shift may have deprioritized her channel in search and discovery in YouTube's algorithm, worsening the damage that had already been done to her income. The channel continued on for one more year with constant degradation, as Bree began to start a habit of going inactive for longer periods than usual.
But basically, I've been gone. I've progressively been uploading less and less, and
Yeah, I mean, listen, any transition, funny joke, any transition is going to have an impact, positive or negative. But you kind of have to bunker down and just stay consistent, and it sucks. Last year was a rough year. I think this year will be better. I've been seeing solid, consistent stuff, so I'm appreciative of that. But it was a transitional period. I shifted channels. I did a lot. You know what I mean? I was changing a little bit of the way that I was, producing content and acting and whatnot. So sometimes it takes a while.
then as of my last video, I just dropped off the face of the earth for a month. For those of you who follow my social media, you know that I'm still just as self-entitled and white as always. But as far as
white, what did they just say?
My social media, you know that I'm still just as self-entitled and white as always.
Okay, whatever.
But as far as my YouTube activity, it's been non-existent. I don't know what to do, guys. I had so much fun with this. YouTube was always fun for me, even when I had to abide by
a little virtue signal there, huh?
Silly rules that YouTube had implemented over time. It was fun. I enjoyed it. YouTube was my thing. It was what I knew how to do. But now I've reached a point in my life where I want skills that stretch beyond recording Gary's mod. And in pursuit of that, I've re-enrolled into university. And the reason that I've stopped with YouTube was because it was getting discouraging. So I'm sure you guys have been bombarded with God knows how many tweets or videos about this stupid apocalypse. And I'm not here to talk about that anymore. It is what it is. It's probably going to kill a lot of creators off, but it doesn't mean that I want to stop creating. But it has, however, forced me to take a step back and to reevaluate what I want to do, or what I was doing and what I want to do. It was getting really discouraging uploading videos and then just having them attacked by the automated system. So as far as future content is concerned, I'm trying to figure out what ignites my creative spark again.
This too most likely contributed to her channel's decline, since inactive upload schedules also harm a channel's reach in the algorithm, all while the current problems resulting from demonetization got worse and worse. In the wake of these same problems, Robin's channel saw an ever-worsening decline as well, which forced him to get a second job at Comcast, which he hated.
This
particular time, my mood was greatly affected by the immense amount of stress of working at said place, coupled with the fact that YouTube was starting to go downhill due to all kinds of policy changes during, I think it was Adpocalypse 2.0.
Well, I think the Adpocalypse happened, and then they did the policy changes, right?
It was just a bad time for me. It was a bad time for Bree. Not a fun time in general.
These problems wore on him to such a degree that he became unpleasant to those around him, which ultimately resulted in the end of his relationship with Bree around early 2018.
To sum that part of my life up, I was turning into a dick. Don't get me wrong. I still am.
Hopefully a nice one. And it doesn't have to be big, okay? That's what all the girls tell me. Hey, it's a nice one. It's not big, but it's a nice one, you know?
But not in the I work at Comcast and my YouTube career is going down the toilet way. See, nowadays, I don't work at Comcast and my YouTube is dead. So I don't have anything to fear. Things eventually hit a point where, of course, we had to sit down and Bree said, hey, look, you don't make me happy anymore. Now, in the heat of the moment, I didn't agree, obviously. I felt like things were okay, even though they weren't. It took me maybe a...
That's kind of fucked up, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know all of the story, so, like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, you know, blame anybody or call anybody a bad person. But to me, like, you know, here's my thing, is, like, what is it? What did Marilyn Monroe say? If you can't, I don't know, get me at my worst, you don't get me at my best, or whatever. Sometimes people struggle, man. And if you're dipping out because somebody's struggling, I feel like that's shitty. But then also it might have been more than just that. I don't know. But, you know, my wife so far stuck by me thick and thin. You know, that's what builds relationships, baby. Okay. Trauma.
Week to realize, you know what, yeah, you're right. This should be a mutual decision. I agree. I can see the things that I'm not a fan of, and it's probably a good idea to split up. Anyway, fast forward a couple of months, we're still living together. Bad idea. She's seeing somebody else at that point, and I'm still working at Comcast, watching my YouTube crash and burn with nobody really to help, except for Brandon, Asmo, and Dylan. Those were kind of my main support people to go to, and thanks to them for keeping me the hell alive. After that point, I went through not all stages of grief. I'd say I skipped a few, but it took a toll on me until maybe 6-7 months ago.
Robin would move out only a few months later, and problems with YouTube only continued to worsen.
I'm looking for an item. It's like a whip.
Then, in June of 2018, Bree had had enough. She put up a now-deleted video describing her situation, addressing not only the problems with the channel, but her growing exhaustion with the format that she'd done for nearly 5 years by then.
There was a time where this was very...
I mean, I feel like that's always going to happen, especially if you're younger, right? You know, you get to a point where you get older, your fan base gets older, especially if you start when you're young, and you kind of just want to change in some capacity. And I imagine that transition can be very difficult. Are you fucking kidding my? Okay, whatever. I'll just get this.
Pretty fun. That's
but you know,
not
I
what
get
it is
it
anymore. It's just so much politics and bullshit, and you can't get on a fucking camera and just be yourself anymore. Like I used to be so avid about uploading consistently and playing Gmod with friends, because first of all, it used to be fucking fun. We could do whatever we wanted on Gmod, or just we could do whatever we wanted in general, and we got away with uploading it. Well, we were allowed to upload it, rather.
Oh shit.
It was so fucking fun. Like, if you go back and watch my old Gmod videos, you can see how much fun we're having.
Okay.
And I can't do that anymore.
Why can't they do that anymore?
I can't do that, or it literally will hurt my channel because it's inappropriate. I'm tired of
Oh, it might be too sexual. Make it like Patreon content or something.
investing so much work into genuinely good videos that will get shit views and will perform terribly because they weren't clickbait. I'm tired of losing worth in people's eyes because your numbers aren't as high as theirs, or you don't meet statistical expectations. I'm tired of being told I have no credibility because I'm no longer at my peak. I'm tired of the hate.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, dude. I'm on. I'll go on TikTok. Because I used to be big on there, blah, blah, blah. It's the meme of the channel. I get it. I used to be pretty big there. And then, like, now my videos, I made a new channel, and, like, I started more consistently uploading. And, like, my videos, you know, I actually have, like, 240,000 followers. And then I'll have videos that do 1,000 views. And then I'll get videos that do a few million views. It's so different. And a lot of them are in, like, the low thousands, which is fine. I don't really care. It's a supplement. It's an auxiliary platform that's meant to be like, hey, look, I exist, so that you might come across me and go to my YouTube. And people will be like, Papa God fell off so hard. We need to study this fall off. It's like, bro, like one of the things I've been doing is I'm not talking about like the amount of money that I make on like my YouTube, on my platforms all together between like YouTube, TikTok, my other YouTube and Instagram. But it's like, if you knew what I was, you'd be like, oh, well, I'm a silly little goose. Like I don't do amazingly, but like I do better than my wife with a master's degree. It's like, you know, it's just like, shut up. Just leave me alone. Fuck you. You know?
criticism that I face for changes I need to make in my own personal life for me to be happy. I'm tired of having to be the subject of whatever I do. I'm tired of having to market myself. I'm really tired of the terrible content I feel forced to make. There was a time when this is fun.
One of the interesting things I'll say is that one of the things that I felt bad for them. So, okay. They made that video about Meat Canyon, right? And one of the things they said was like, hey, this was just me talking to my stream. And I started to buy into the idea that like maybe they didn't realize how negative people were going to be because they did different types of content or something, you know. Maybe they would, you know what I mean? Like maybe they were like, oh, they're ignorant to like kind of like the drama-ish, you know, thing, and so they didn't expect it to be that much hate. But after this, it's like, oh, you know about toxic audiences. Like I feel like you knew what was like we knew what your intention was when you did that. It seems like a little silly goosery. No?
There's a time where it made me quite a bit of money. That was fun.
Hoppa came to this video looking for the tea, left with empathy. True.
But
they don't seem like a bad person. I just think that it was kind of a silly mistake to try to do the whole cancellation on Meat Canyon thing and then double down on it and then also respond to everybody. They were like in my comment section arguing with people. And I was sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do that. It's not even worth your time, you know?
I was miserable then for different reasons. And I don't even know if I'd ever want to go back. Like, I'm happier now than I've ever been in my entire life.
Crazy.
I make a fraction of what I used to.
That's
I'm living in a shared home because my paycheck is a fraction of what it used to be.
I feel you.
Cut in half. All I have for this website is resent.
Yeah.
That's all I feel.
I feel like when you hit that point, it's like you get a taste. For me, I've been very fortunate, but it's like, I want it back. How do I get there? You know what I mean? I don't. That's my mindset is trying to be. Hopefully, it works out. It works out. But
every time I get on my computer, every time I look at my microphone and my recording setup, just all I feel is resent and hate for something that used to be so great, and whether it was the influence of PC culture or the pursuit of greed. YouTube is not and is never going to be a place where I feel welcome. And
it's interesting because I feel like YouTube has gotten less. I feel like YouTube has gotten less kind of aggressive lately. They've actually made a few intentional changes to make it so that you can make a little bit more edgy content. You know what I mean? Like they are trying. If like I know a while ago they did a pretty big update so they were like, hey, we're gonna monitor your videos even more for a little while. But that was after a few times of them like reducing the restrictions. People didn't pay attention to those. I feel like you can get away with a lot more now.
A place where I would want to put my creations. I mean, I'm not the only one to make a video like this. A lot of people are fucking quitting. You're making us quit. I'm so close to 1 million subscribers, and I'm tossing the towel because you were that fucking bad. I will, however, I will be doing morning live streams. I'm a morning person, and like, I don't really do a whole lot for the first like couple hours of my day, and I'm just like, well, I could just live stream.
After this, Bree's friends would supplement content every so often, and Bree would stream as she mentioned, but this obviously was a massive blow to both the channel and apparently Bree herself. According to her, after quitting YouTube, she went through an era of her life where she was uncontrollably emotional and seeking ways to numb the pain. She became an alcoholic and started attending raves at concerts while intoxicated up to 5 times per week.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay.
And spent few hours.
I mean, I understand it, right? Like, listen, YouTube, listen. We are just now as a society talking about like being fat is like an addiction, like eating too much food is an addiction, which I tend to agree with. I feel like being a YouTuber or a content creator is an addiction too. Getting good views is an addiction, and then when you don't get good views, it fucks you. I feel like it's so hard. You have to form the right relationship with your content, and it's not easy. There's no fucking playbook. You know, you'll get those 1 out of 10s, and they'll feel so good, and then maybe you'll get a couple of like 3 and 2 and 4 out of 10s. You're like, wow, I'm doing so well. And then you're going to start hitting those 10 out of 10s again. And like, that'll fuck you up. It'll like, damn. And you just have to be like, it's temporary. And in my experience, it is. You know, just be patient, make the content that you like, and you know, your core audience will still enjoy it. And then you just have to push through, and eventually you hit that 1 out of 10, you hit your groove. It's just, I get it though, it's rough. It's hard to push through that.
sober. She
Yeah, I don't really understand abusing alcohol. I love alcohol. Why would I want to abuse it?
continued this pattern for months to the point of her saying she'd accepted it
I'm just a clingy boyfriend, so I hang out with it a lot. You know what I'm saying?
as part of her identity.
I tried living as a normal, non-internet person.
I like to do fun things. You know, like, hey, let's go to the movies, or let's go bowling, or maybe we can go for a casual drive through a school zone. And it's like, okay, oops, hit a kid. Sorry. You know, I make sure that I go to the rich neighborhoods. You know, nobody likes those kids anyway. They're assholes.
Because at this point I was passing, and no one outside of my past or my viewer base knew about my history. No longer could I be criticized for my unordinary interests or choices, but alongside
I read I read the donation I got. It'll come through.
this newfound pursuit of the normal came the adpocalypse, and between the painful mix of veering away from what made me recognizable, dealing with a huge breakup, and literally making no money from YouTube ads anymore, I kind of sort of lost it. I had almost overnight lost my livelihood, and alongside all my other stresses, I went a little nuts.
Hey, Papa, I know this may sound weird, but I'm the type of person that has to listen to something when I sleep, and you have been the man. For that, for 2 years, thank you for always putting out quality. Thank you, I appreciate that. Sorry, I think I'm getting to the point now where I'm going to have to make my text bigger because I'm getting older.
Those next couple of years.
Yeah, Rich Lux was in the chat before. Thank you again for that donation if you're still here.
Years following the end of 2017 would just be breakdown after break.
Maybe Rich Lux is still in the chat falling asleep to my voice. Or
Relic
Jack.
super chatted $5.24.
I was going to say Jack
Hey
off to it. I don't
Papa,
know.
first time in the stream. Here is some money Beck you fell off.
Okay. Thank you for the $5, dude. I look like the kind of guy that'd be good at bowling. I feel like I could have been, but I'm not at all. I don't have the dexterity.
Destructive episode after self-destructive episode. So you can only imagine how wonderful
Yeah, like that episode Dragon Ball Z with Cell. That self-destructive episode.
and also healthy the next portion of my life was.
Hey guys, I don't have a lot of money. I'm gonna go party every night. What the fuck?
Substance under the sun.
I knew a girl from high school that did raves a lot. Unfortunately, she passed away, I think, to a drug overdose. There's no joke there. It's actually just really sad. I feel bad. It's a terrible thing. I think that in all honesty, if you're someone out there that overcomes addiction, you know, I think good for you, because I think addiction of any kind is the hardest thing to overcome. It's one of the hardest things. It's so hard to not relapse. So just keep in mind, I know it might be tough, but every day that you overcome that addiction and you stay off of whatever it was you're addicted to, you know, you should feel proud of yourself, because, you know, you might not like where you are in life, but comparatively, you're doing better than a lot of other people. Because I don't think everybody in the world, I would say most people in the world, don't have the power or the strength to be able to overcome addiction. It's such a what a hard, harsh thing to do, man. That's a terrible thing. Yeah.
Which, to no one's surprise, led to an immense struggle with addiction. A lot of my savings was spent traveling to festivals and getting fucked up. It was incredibly damaging and unbelievably embarrassing. I mean, I'm embarrassed just talking about it right now, but I played it off as if I knew what I was doing. I guess in a way I did.
Another thing, it's like they talk about how they had an alcohol problem, you know, and I understand. I get it. It's tough. But then they also were going to raves and they were spending a lot of their savings, and it's like, okay, well, you couldn't spend a couple, like $100 on fixing your computer. You know what I mean? But I guess that's the problem. This is one of the problems, and this isn't me trying to say like fuck you to this creator, because I get it. They have a lot of struggles, worse than me, so I get that from a human perspective. But like it's a terrible thing to learn. But a lot of people who are drug addicts, they lie a lot. It's a sad thing, or any kind of addict. You know, it's like when I lie about how much food I ate today. But it's a sad thing. Like, you know, a lot of times, especially when they're struggling with it, they'll make a lot of excuses. It's not even that they necessarily lie to you, actually. It's like they believe what they're saying in the moment, you know? It's like, oh, I don't have money to fix my computer. It's because, but they do. It's just that they want to prioritize their fix because they're addicted to it, right? It's so fucked up. So they'll say things that might be really genuine in the moment, like, I'll stop. I know I should do this. I should do that. And then, you know, the next second that craving hits hard and you get fucked up. Sad shit, man. Sad shit.
I was trying to self-destruct. The thought of ruining my life made me happy for whatever reason.
But luckily, this downturn didn't last forever. On October 15th, 2018, she posted
Are you really an addict or just an epic party girl, you know?
a video announcing the official return to Gmod videos with friends.
I actually don't eat
She never gave a
McDonald's that much. I have Five Guys.
direct reason, but it's possible that the break may have rekindled an interest, and seemed like a better alternative to what was happening at the time.
Yeah, no, you can put that in the toss pile. We can throw that for somebody. Go ahead and keep that. We can use that. So we've been selling off a lot of Recorp's assets to make up for the recent adpocalypse in my extended absence from the company. In the wake of the adpocalypse, I went a little off the
What happened to the horse? What the fuck is this?
deep end, you could say. I spent most of my evenings partying and spending an obscene amount of the company's fallback money on substances I can't legally disclose. Oh man, okay. I feel my eyes. Is that a... Am I looking at a hamburger with a face?
Although to avoid any copyright altercations, she began using a new Gmod avatar that was human as opposed to her MLP-type character.
Would that have actually got them a copyright violation? Yeah, Five Guys is pretty good. It sucks because I usually tip when I go to Five Guys. I'll do like the 10%, so I'll go up there and I'll tip 10. Like I'll do like the typical 10% tip, and then I'll wait for the food. And they take a little while, but not too bad. Today they forgot about my fucking food. 15 minutes. I'm sitting there at the table waiting for them to finish it, so I go up and get it. I go up there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Didn't even start it yet. People that are coming in after me are getting their food. I got irritated. You know, I even thought about just saying, hey, refund the order, let me go, because I was kind of pissed. You know, because they were closing soon, and I wanted to eat in there. But then they gave me an entire bag of French fries, so to make up for it. So I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's just, it's the little things. I'm gonna throw them out because I just can't eat that many French fries, but I still appreciate the gesture. You know?
Around the end of 2017, I adopted this weird, comical, mutilated humanoid version of her that my friend Ashy Boop had made for me. Then shortly after, I had an anime-oriented model made and tried to distance myself from any and everything pony. The only time Breezy would show up is when I depicted her as being dead or being a shell of her former self. Even then, I only did this so that I could use the likeness of her model in thumbnails to draw clicks.
This was after being advised to do so by a lawyer friend, but this would cause
that gets you clicks. The pony in the thumbnail gets you clicks. What the fuck?
problems since Bree had only just returned, and her horse avatar was her most recognizable channel branding.
I want to thank everyone for joining today, and by everyone I mean the literally
that makes sense.
4 people who are putting on a funeral for... Really, guys? With endings comes new beginnings, and I like to think that I apply to an infinitely larger demographic, not using that...
Aren't you supposed to be one of them anime characters?
Hulk, please, I respect Western...
How the fuck are you gonna say I can't use an MLP character for copyright? Then you're gonna have the Hulkster in there. Arguably one of the most annoying wrestlers ever. Good wrestler, but also an asshole and a liar. So, fuck you, Hulkster. Okay? I know what you did to the Undertaker. Lied about him hurting you. We don't take that kind of when you fuck with the Undertaker, you've gone too far. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Fucking crazy.
Culture. I don't watch Chinese cartoons. I also had numerous copyright scares with that model, so I figured that maybe...
I should make it Walrus OC. Stop. Shut up.
Maybe it was probably time to move on.
But on top of this, she had... Why is this not read out? She had grown frustrated with the brony community and began to see her as MLPOC, Breezy, as a painful reminder of how unaccepting the fandom was at the time. Many in it ridiculed her, and much of the reasoning she gave publicly as to why she stopped using it was to avoid discussing this. The MLP community doesn't like people with trans people? Is that what they're saying? That's surprising, honestly. I feel like... Listen, you could look this up. There is a legitimate link, this is enough, between autism and gender dysphoria. All I'm saying, MLP community, there's a link between the MLP community and autism. So I'm thinking, you'd think that the MLP community would love trans people. It's a thought, mostly because they are trans. Just something to think about. So it's an interesting conversation to have about the link between having autism and also your relationship with your gender. You know? So interesting. But at least they're not Freddy Fazbear.
By this point, the channel's growth had plateaued around 850 to 900,000 subscribers. Unfortunately, by then, her friend group had dwindled further, with few making reappearances. She continued posting, but 2 months later on December 3rd, she would put up a video revealing that she was still facing major hurdles.
MsBreezy, come back and let's do let's do one of these things. Let's do a skit together. I'll do it for free. You just have to make my OC for me, model it or whatever. I don't know how it works. And I want to have the choice of what it is. Okay.
Hurdles.
And I want to name it. And I'm going to name it Pingle World.
But this time of a
That's because I like that.
different variety. Rather than videos seeing no revenue from their views, the channel as a whole was seeing less reach than before. Something Bree attributes partially to the changing landscape.
So you're like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna continue to do that. That's my thing. Nope. Fuck you. You're old and washed up and irrelevant. You have your.
Well, I mean, you just came back from not really making content for a while. Of course, people are going to have changed their perspective. It's okay. It's just part of the coming back. You know, if you take a break or you shift like that, you kind of have to be prepared to have a rough time, like for a year.
Your time, your 15 minutes, and then you're just supposed to be buried. I'm not in this shit, so.
White Castle's better than Wendy's, by the way. White Castle's actually top tier. It's just expensive.
Maybe the fucking most famous.
Go there and get go there and get like the sloppy Joe sandwiches. They're good.
I do this because I love creating.
My wife says I haven't tried them because there might be onion on them, and I don't like onions.
I love
I like the
sharing
texture.
with people. I love having it just exposed. And sure, I have bills to pay, but there's a reason I work a fucking real physical job now. I wish I could hit on 1 million subscribers. That'd be cool. It seems like a very distant thing. I'm like right there. I'm right fucking there. Just give me the plaque. Just give me the 1 million subscriber plaque and I'll leave forever. If that's what you want. I just want a plaque in my room so that I can look at it and feel some sort of essence of self-accomplishment. I
don't like plaque. That's why I go to the dentist.
to think that there's something that I can still do to appeal to my demographic that isn't being a cancerous shit. Anyway, more Minecraft videos coming soon.
Over the next year, things would continue in a relatively similar direction. Videos would see incrementally decreased traffic and Bree would post at a somewhat irregular pace, but things would continue to shift in other ways. In February of 2019, Bree would release a video as part of a 3-part series on her BreeHive channel talking about her transition, and in it she revealed a lot of what had only been guessed at before, mainly that she'd been struggling with dysphoria for years and had been hinting at it since almost the very beginning of her channel, but also that she had joined YouTube to be among a more accepting crowd, as opposed to those in her real-life childhood who bullied her for being different.
And I was really vulnerable
That's
to bullies
rude.
because I had fragile feminine emotions and
That's sad. I think the saddest part is I used to be a bully. Sometimes I was a bully. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be one. We're victims too, guys. Okay? We're victims of toxic masculinity as well.
And Jesus Christ, God forbid you have that in middle school. So
I remember I remember when I was younger, I had a family member tell me, I told them, I said, I think I might be bisexual. And they said, bisexual doesn't exist. You're just fucking gay. And I said, damn. I was scared after that. I was very scared after that. Who wants to be gay? Not because I have a problem with gay people, but it's just like nobody likes gay. Well, at least back when I was growing up, people didn't necessarily like gay people. So I was like, damn, that's a scary thought. I used to test myself with gay porn, and I would look at it and I would go, whew. I didn't like this. Until Finster showed up.
that, and it just really piled on over the years. Like I got crazy depressed. I isolated a lot in my room, and it got to the point where I didn't like leaving my room outside of school. I would just wake up, go to school, come home, play video games, hide away, isolate, and go to bed and rinse and repeat. I ate a lot of cheese fries. I remember that specifically. While I was isolating, you know, I used to.
Yeah, White Castle's not a thing in the South because you guys are poor down there.
Like I started to get like real into YouTube, and I've always been sort of a creator ever since I was like even really young. But like, you know, YouTube started to become more of a thing. I was watching a lot of YouTubers, and I got to see their rise to like actual stardom, and it sort of brewed this like motivation in me because I would see these YouTubers being loved by thousands of people, and here I am in this shitty farm town being hated by pretty much everyone I was around. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was never happy with myself, and in turn that just made me vulnerable in school, and in turn that just made me miserable. I thought if I had thousands of people watching the things that I made, if I had thousands of people that loved me, that I would learn to love myself. But I didn't know any better. I was a kid. I just saw these people being loved by fans, and I wanted to be loved like that. It was shallow at the time, I'm not gonna lie.
That's so sad.
And my reasoning for wanting to be famous.
I feel that. I feel that though a little bit, not fully, but I feel it a little bit. You know, like with my father. You know what I mean? I get it.
This was literally just to be famous and popular. And it's not the right reason. I know that now it's not the right reason to have done that, but I did not know any better. So that's what I did.
YOLO.
And lo and behold, it didn't make anything better.
This video would receive very positive reception, but would never receive the 2 promised follow-ups, and was enlisted later on when Bree grew self-conscious of her older second channel content and decided to rebrand it into a vlog channel.
Don't worry, I know I was joking about the bully stuff. I would only really bully women, so it's not really a big deal. Relax.
Shit, channel's always sort of struggled with a identity crisis in the past.
It's funny because, well, it's not funny, but like I did used to be a little bit of a bully back then, and then I started taking like Ritalin for ADHD for my ADHD, and that made me get bullied. It's so weird. Like I guess I just became more silent and vulnerable, and then I started getting bullied after that. I think I deserved it though, and then I came off my medication. I became a fucking bully again. What a piece of shit. Holy fuck. I really don't like the person I used to be. But in my adult life, you know, of course, I became a better person. I think. Not a good person, not just a better person. And, mostly thanks to my wife. I love her a lot.
I can't ever seem to figure out where I should take it or what people would even want to watch. I can't even figure out what I'd want to make. I mean, I think I'm going in the right direction. I've made a couple of really fun videos so far, but they've all lacked something that I really enjoyed from the videos that I've uploaded in the past. So I looked to my past as a reference to see what I enjoyed most when I uploaded here. And honestly, my happiest uploads were our wacky travel/Disney vlogs.
Rate it with a hand signal in front of the camera. Okay, emoji, perfect.
Although few videos would ever be released on it since. Around the same time, Robin would also retire from content creation on his own channel. He would return much later on in September of 2020, but would then quit again permanently.
Yeah, so here's the deal. I have been stringing you guys along for probably, a little more than 3 years now with promises of making content and trying something new, doing this, doing that.
The fuck's this guy again? What the fuck?
And it's never, ever, ever once happened. There are many...
I ever called the people that I bullied about? No, I mean, like, I don't really remember who they were specifically. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know their fucking numbers. I wasn't, like, that bad. I was just an asshole. Like, I remember in the Boy Scouts, or no, at the YMCA one time, I think I was, a kid was like, and we got into, like, an altercation, so I picked him up and I threw him at a tree. Jesus, I was a fucking asshole. You know, I wasn't like that bad. I wasn't like the guy who's like, give me your fucking lunch money. Like, I wasn't horrible. I wasn't like the type of bully you see on TV where I would constantly harass people. I was just kind of a dick. Like, I was just, like, not very self-aware. I was just kind of an asshole. I was kind of selfish. I was kind of a piece of shit, you know? And I didn't really realize the negative impact of my actions, right? I guess that's what it was. I wasn't really self-aware. And then I got older, and I started understanding better. And, you know, life's a journey. Life's a journey, guys.
Reasons
life's a journey
for this being the case. The biggest one being depression. I never really fully recovered after the events of 2017, the events of which I've already spoken about, so you should know by now.
The bite of 2017.
There you go. And at this point in time, things have become so messed up for me, or at least I should say my brain has become so messed up that I think once and for all, I'm here to...
I'm not trying to be an asshole. Maybe I'm just fucking forgetting. Who the fuck is this guy? They're a theme, and I haven't really been paying too much attention. This was like the ex of MsBreezy, right?
To say no more promises will ever be made, no more
Stop.
content will ever be made.
Stop calling me a bully.
To stop hanging around here, because what you see now is all you're ever going to get. So I'm returning to you today, this fine Saturday, to, I guess for lack of better terminology, explain myself. Okay, I guess I wasn't really lacking better terminology. I knew exactly what to say. And by
Frame
explain
super
myself...
chatted $5. I've been blind my whole life, but your deep masculine alpha voice has finally made me see again.
That's a beautiful
Hope
thing,
you
brother.
and Mama Gut have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when I can cure blindness.
I am, of course, referring to the many times that I have unceremoniously quit YouTube and then, with no real explanation, come right back. This last time being the most egregious of them all. You see, as I said in that video...
It just seems like an attention seek. Are you fucking kidding me? I died with 20 seconds on the clock. It just kind of seems like an attention seek when you... Listen, here's the thing. And this is one of the things that like I've been trying to avoid too. I remember the first time I started to create this boundary. And I feel like it was one of the most important things that I've ever decided to do. And I'm not even kidding. Back when I decided to transition from my old channel to this new channel, the smaller channel, and like kind of rebuild and regrow and like go through, you know, those motions, I was going to announce to everybody that I was going to leave and transition channels. And I remember talking to my wife, and my wife said, don't do that. And it's hard to express. She's like, it's just not a good idea. You don't need to do that. You don't need to tell everybody that you're going to make this change. Excuse me. You don't need to do, you don't need to do that. She's like, I think that it's let's just make the change and let it happen. You don't need to announce all of the moves you're making. And it was one of those things where it was almost like developing a new principle. Don't announce every one of the moves that you're making, because it gets weird. Like, hey guys, I'm doing this. It's meaningful. It's this. Or it's like, hey guys, like I'm just kind of doing a thing. I'm not saying don't announce everything, but that was a really positive step for me. And like almost creating a boundary where I was able to apply that to like when I was changing as a little bit as a person and becoming like a little better, less of an asshole, especially. I wouldn't announce everything. I don't know. It's hard to communicate, but that was one of the things. You get caught into loops like this too, where you might announce something that you want to do and it just doesn't work out. But
For the last 3 years, I really haven't been myself.
I don't think you ever should switch channels. Probably not. But I think for me, one of the things that what mattered more, it was like just committing to a choice. And I think in the long run, it's not going to matter. But I understand what you're saying. You probably, it is what it is. I'm happy that I've been one of the things I struggled with was like, I would just be like, so like, I would just constantly think about things all the time. Like what should I post on this channel? What should I post on that channel? What should I do here? What should I do there? And it kind of fucked me up. So I think it was actually overall a good move to just do something and commit to it. And I ended up committing to this choice. So,
now I guess it's not super uncommon for really anybody to quit and or retire from any artistic endeavors and then immediately regret that decision because they're not done creating yet. I have probably quit like 4 or 5 times since 2017,
come on, I'm looking for
I
something.
have come back. Again, with no explanation, time and time again. I got a big forehead, man. And like I said before, I'm here today to let you know exactly what's going on inside my head. Why I'm back. Why I've quit so many times. It really
Why do you keep making content about coming back and quitting?
Comes down to just depression, man. That's really all there is to it.
Back on Bree's channel, she would post several Reddit-based
Thank
videos.
you. Somebody that said as a fellow in their 30s, they understand what I'm saying. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I like about older people. They can just kind of pick up what I'm putting down sometimes when I can't articulate it,
This is the year near its end.
Life
experimenting with other types of content. Apparently, this was at the recommendation of her friend Damien.
How's it going, friends? Welcome back to Blonde Girl Gets Demonetized on the Internet. Today we're doing something special, something different, something fun.
Are we gooning today?
Gonna be a Gmod video. Oh, yeah, there it is. Saw that one coming. Today we're gonna be exploring the subreddit. Oh, God.
I think that's another thing to not focus on is like listen. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. You can only do so much. You can only complain so much to your followers, especially when it's a core part of the video. One of the things I'm very beneficial is like sometimes I'll talk about shit in like the middle of a video. Like right now, I'll just like whatever, do like a heart to heart, I guess. I wouldn't even call it that. But you can only complain so much when you're constantly making videos like, oh guys, my channel's not doing well. Oh guys, my channel's not doing well. Oh guys, my channel's not. Your fans start to get annoyed with it, especially since it can be interpreted by some fans as like an insult. When your video doesn't do well and you're consistently doing worse, but there's people still watching you, there's a good chance that those people might like really like you. So that's when I tell myself like, oh, I got a 10 out of 10 video, but I still got 1,000 views, and those 1,000 people probably liked it a lot. And I've gotten feedback on some videos that do very poorly view-wise. That's like, I love this video more than anything else you've put out, and I'm like, cool. That's what I'm looking for. That's cool. So I try to cope like that, but it's not good to kind of I had a bad this, I had a bad that. It's just not a good thing to, especially when you constantly do that with your audience. I feel like it pisses them off a little bit. I like the channel switch has been need to watch the public channel grow from the bottom. 2024 is the year. Hell yeah, thank you. Maybe I don't know if I'll surpass it, but yeah, no, that's one of the things. I think I thought I was going to blow up faster because my TikTok blew up fast, and then my first YouTube blew up fast because it was more towards that 2020-ish time. So this has been a slow year, but that's a good thing. I needed like a slow thing. Oh, you just started watching? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I come across pretty genuine. I appreciate that. That's one thing I go for. I'm not going for smart or handsome. I go the genuine is what I'm going for.
Damn it! All right, well, a lot of people are gonna be like,
damn, my videos get you through a quarter of your work day. That's not bad. 2 hours. That's pretty crazy, brother. I appreciate that.
You're copying Damien.
Sometimes I think, who the fuck's gonna sit here and watch me for that long every day? It's crazy. Appreciate that.
MK Damien. Well, listen, Damien and I, we're best friends, and he actually told me to do this. He was the one who was like, Bree, try Reddit content.
This change was sudden, but she would soon discuss why, saying she was enjoying her new videos and felt guilty to older subs for not making the content they wanted, but felt that her humor and style had changed.
Things change, lives move along, people lose touch. A person's sense of humor matures, their interests might alter, and the perfect formula that made a person's creation seem flawless in the past might be so vastly different in the future that they can no longer replicate it. And
sure, that's true.
That's essentially what's happened here with me. I've endured so much change, more than I ever thought possible. Initially, these changes affected my confidence, my ability to create, and largely led to the state that my channel is in right now. It was that fear of never being as good as I once was that kept me away for such long periods, because I knew that no matter what I did, you would be disappointed. However, that's no longer the case. I've adapted to my changes, I've grown to love them, and for the first time in a very long time, I can say that I'm proud of myself. The uploads that I've been releasing lately have brought me a lot of joy. Like, genuine happiness. Just being on camera again, acting, laughing, enjoying myself, showing myself to the world.
Night owl. I try not to be, but I am lately. I'm trying to reset, but it's tough.
There's so much fucking hiding. We're all here to be perfect and miserable at our own pace. That being said, I can't promise what I'll release in the future on this channel. I can't promise that my consistency, humor, or interest will ever live up to your expectations. I can't promise an upcoming Gmod video, and I can't promise that my friends from the past will ever be part of my future.
Bree also let on why a lot of her friends may not have reappeared in videos.
Now to my friends, past and present. You all know who you are. I'm sorry to any one of you I may have lost contact with in the past. I'm sorry if I ever made decisions that seemed self-destructive, selfish, or ultimately toxic for you to be around. I know life is life and shit happens, but I take pride in offering my friends the best, and for years I've fallen short. You all allowed me comfort, acceptance, love, and warmth during the most trying periods of my life. You joined me.
It bothers me that I'm a 33-year-old teenager, and every time someone says a word with the word "come" in it, I just can't stop. Comfort? Comfort. You know, it's just like, Jesus Christ.
On this YouTube journey, and were largely the reason I was able to fund and achieve the changes that ultimately saved my life. You are the major factor in my happiness, and why I haven't invested more into you guys is beyond me. I love you guys. God, I love you guys. I will make more of an effort to be there, if and when you guys ever need me.
But despite what Bree said about the new content she was making, she would only continue this new style into the start of 2020 before shelving it completely. Her next plan, however, caught many off guard.
Anyway, 2020 creeps around the corner, but not much has changed. There's still an incredible amount of struggle behind the scenes, except this time I'm dealing with a second breakup from someone I'd been dating during those past 2 years.
Geez.
I knew full well that I was going to be just as crazy, if not crazier, in the coming year. I had even more festivals
See?
planned, and resources that would keep me high out of my mind for as long as I wanted. The stage was set for me to utterly fuck up my life. But then, the pandemic happened. When COVID hit and all the events and shows were canceled, I had like a second identity crisis. Who was I if I couldn't go to shows? Who was I if I wasn't fucked up in a crowd of strangers?
I feel that. You know, when COVID hit, my favorite buffet closed. And that really hit me hard. I remember thinking it closed on March 3rd, 2020. I remember that day, and I thought, my birthday's in 3 weeks. It'll definitely be open by then. And then it never opened again. And that was the second biggest loss during COVID. You know, the first was my uncle, who was like a father to me. That one fucked me up a little bit. That one fucked me up a little bit more, just a little bit more. But that buffet, man. What a place! What a beautiful place. They had a sushi bar, a hibachi station. The person working the counter, she liked me and my family a lot because we go out there a lot and we tipped well. And I remember on Thanksgiving, she made me a Thanksgiving sushi. It was fucking terrible. It was like lettuce and turkey and fucking cranberry sauce, and it was horrible. It was fucking dog shit. It was so bad. Oh my God. It was so bad. I still ate it all because I felt bad. You know,
my initial panic from the lockdown sent me on a bit of a bender. And I was consistently not sober.
Super chatted $2.
Oh, sorry,
quit my Ritalin and became a based colonizer. Heart.
Incredible.
For like 14 days. The bender would finally stop because during an acid trip, my sleep deprivation elicited probably the biggest panic attack I've ever had. And I had to call my parents to come pick me up and help me. It was a whole mess. It was a dark spot, okay? It was like rock bottom, so don't judge me. They had no idea what I'd been doing those 2 weeks. I wasn't really in contact with them, so naturally they were super caught off guard. The withdrawal from a 2-week heavy bender isn't something to joke about either. I was in a lot of pain for like 5 days following, and I gained like 10 pounds. After things had finally leveled out a bit, and I was reassociating myself with the feeling of baseline sobriety, I looked for other means of comfort that didn't involve harming myself. The past couple years of my life were already challenging enough, but now there was a pandemic to deal with. I was scrolling through my phone one day and I found the album of Breezy art I've had saved for some time. I started looking through it and I literally just broke down crying, looking at those pictures, recalling my past.
Such a weird thing to look at and break down crying over, but hey, God bless.
Very comforting emotion from my history with Breezy came right back to the
I've never really had curry.
She put up a video called The Bree Turn, teasing at more Gmod videos featuring the old cast, including Robin, who she was still on good terms with.
So, let me get this straight. You want to pursue this big, epic return to entertainment with all the fanfare to boot, but you don't want to use your credit card, you don't want to use your old format, and you don't want to collaborate with your old crew?
Well, I never said I don't want to work with the old crew, I just think they're all busy doing their own thing now.
Look, Robin, I'd love to get your name out there again, but without meeting me halfway, there's no way we can realistically do that. Pitching your name requires some backing. The credit card thing is easy to work around, but the others, I'm not so sure.
What if I got some of the old crew on board?
Well...
And what if we touched on the old format a bit? Capitalize on the nostalgia?
That could work.
I'm sure I could get in touch with someone.
What about that girl you used to work with? The idiot with the goat scream.
You mean...
That's not nice.
Bree?
Oddly obsessed with bikes, weirdly tall, always whining about her life on Twitter.
Yeah, that's definitely Bree.
She cried on her live streams, never followed...
Is this Bree? Is Bree? Oh, Breezy. Gotcha. Okay. Sorry.
Through with her ideas.
I'm still so used to them being Cool Gamer 3.
Yeah, has never hit 1 million subscribers.
Bree.
Even her horse model made a comeback in both the branding and as her avatar in-game. Apparently, she'd rekindled relationships with old friends and realized the chances of getting into copyright trouble for her avatar were very slim.
Welcome everybody to Horse News, the only show where we've hired someone whose literal sole purpose on our staff
Yeah, wouldn't it be considered some kind of parody law or something? No?
to alert us of any cease and desist orders from Hasbro. Is there anything yet?
No.
No?
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll try curry one day. Is it spicy?
Hey, cool. Well, there you have it, folks. Hasbro
And if it's spicy, is it like real spicy or just like Sprite spicy, you know?
still doesn't give a flying shit.
She also expanded out into other platforms. When in August of 2020, she decided to move her streams on a Twitch that she'd kept up since her original quitting video. After rebranding the Cool Dude 3 Twitch channel into the BreeHive Twitch channel and streaming gameplay, the reception and viewer engagement has appeared to be promising. On the 14th, she also discussed the idea of making a series of videos discussing trans-related topics on her second channel, stating that this would be a better way to convey her experiences being trans rather than the 3-part documentary. Although to this day this is yet to happen, and releases on the main channel have slowed and seen an even greater decrease in views. Although Bree has stated that the YouTube monetization system has improved enough for her videos to receive ads again, it seems the damage done from her inactive periods and consistent rebranding have taken their toll, especially since the new YouTube gaming landscape is far different than it was in the height of Bree's popularity. To this day, her channel hovers around 930,000 subscribers, still just out of grasp from the 1 million subscriber number she's coveted throughout her years on the site. In late August, Bree would also discover that she was bipolar, something that may explain her frequent changes in outlook towards her career.
That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense as to why they tried to cancel. Did we know that from the videos that she made about, I was gonna say Jake Paul, what? Papa Meat?
And only a few days later, her and Robin would completely cut ties for unknown reasons. This is where Bree sits today. Of all the YouTubers on the platform, Bree stands as one who has seen one of the most jarring shifts from beginning to end. Some good and some bad. While her outlook towards her content, the site she puts it on, and her goals may change on a whim, she has also undergone a successful transition that ultimately kept her from suicide, and built a decent-sized channel with a
That's a word. Sorry. I'm not, usually people censor that.
loyal fandom. It seems that in a lot of ways, Bree's ability to change is both her biggest advantage and greatest weakness. While most of her peers were wiped out,
I feel that. I have an impulsive streak that I'll kind of engage with. That's one of the things I've been working on too, is like chilling the fuck out on my impulsiveness.
during the fall of Minecraft, Bree persisted and while stagnant, has the ability to rebound again. But her infrequent uploading and changing content style have posed a lot of issues for her and slowed the channel's growth. Had the demonetization system never happened, maybe things wouldn't have degraded when they did. Or maybe this was inevitable. But if anything's certain, it's that the future is unknown and all you can do to brace yourself is be willing to change with it. Whether for the well-being of your fans, your friends, your career, or yourself.
Is that the end? Stop, scary.
Whoa, that was the longest Just Jargon documentary since the one you made
What the fuck is this? Is this the end?
off of me. Now, I'm curious to check out Bree's channel. Is that Joy from Outside In 2?
Terrifying show.
What the fuck is this?
Oh,
Was this documentary made by a friend of MsBreezy?
Totally is.
Okay.
All it brings me is so much fucking joy.
What the fuck? I'm gonna do an Indian food mukbang. I think I would end up doing a diarrhea mukbang because I would be shitting myself all day. Okay. Ah, death, don't hurt me. Wow.
My past actions of using a pony OC as the first official feminine projection of myself wasn't, isn't, and will never be exclusive to me, as there are tons of people who have done and are currently doing the same now.
Oh god, I can't play a girl character now. Oh fuck, I can't. I'm sorry. Hopia. Well, she has big tits, I think. I don't know, they're pixels. Let's see if we can find fan art. Oh yeah, just as I had suspected.
It's kind of a genius video.
Just as I suspected, this character does in fact have massive tits. Clap for me. Of course of course. It doesn't matter how pixelated the titties are. I can fucking always see. I can always tell. I can just. It's my fucking superpower. It's my fucking superpower, dude. All right, cool video.